Hey guys, what's up? It's Nate, and I'm back with another episode of Paranormal Talk. So it's been a while since I've done an actual Paranormal Talk video, so I'm looking forward to this. If you've never seen one of my Paranormal Talk videos, unlike the app test where I open the app and you're watching me go through the app and I'm teaching you to use the app as I learn the app myself. And by teaching you, I mean me fumbling around a lot, wondering what the fuck is going on because I can't figure it out. However, we get to the point of the app in the end and we figure it out, right? So this is a little bit different. I have notes sat over here, and you're going to see me glance off from time to time because I'm reading my notes and I'm trying to ensure that I'm giving you the video that I want to give you. First and foremost, and I wanted to start this video by saying that I've realized recently an overwhelming response to my app test videos, mostly in the positive nature. And guys, this is greatly appreciated. I love the fact that you guys comment, and I love the fact that I can interact with you. Every person who comments on my videos, I always make it a point to attempt to reply. Now, it might take me a few days, but I do eventually reply. So if you leave a comment, I will get to you. Don't worry, it's coming. Now, I recently had a video hit over 6,000 views. Now, I know some people are like, 6,000 views. There's people on YouTube who have over, 2 million. Okay, good for them. They can have their 2 million views. I'm humbled by the fact that I hit 6,000, considering when I released my first video, I never thought I'd hit over 100 views on a video. This was astounding to me, and guys, it's appreciated. However, on some other platforms, I've realized that a lot of people seem to hate paranormal apps or the idea of them in general. They just hate the fact that they exist. I guess my question would simply be this. Why all the hatred toward these experimental tools that we could use to contact the dead? Are all the pieces of equipment that we use as paranormal investigators to contact the spirit realm not in a way experimental, since none of the responses that we get can honestly be scientifically verified? We base our opinions on our own personal experiences at the time of the equipment fluctuations based off of the ideal that our equipment can be used to contact the dead, without that information being solidified by scientists in a controlled environment. So how do we really know in fact that ghosts or spirits are really what we're contacting, and not just natural environmental changes affecting our devices that we are using in an attempt to prove the existence of the afterlife? I feel like this would be a great topic for debate and discussion. So this is Paranormal Talk, applications for investigations. Why the hate? Let's sit back, relax. Please grab a drink if you'd like as we discuss this topic, and I want to hear your guys' opinions in the comments. Guys, let's get it. Hey guys, welcome back to Paranormal Talk. If you've ever watched any of my videos before, you should be well aware that all of my content is suitable for all ages. This is your parental advisory, explicit content warning. In all honesty, guys, the idea for this video came to me a few weeks ago after I saw a post on Facebook in a paranormal group that I'm a member of. Another member made a post about paranormal applications and asked everyone what their opinions were on them and if they believed that they could be used to contact spirits. What ensued in the comments was an onslaught of verbal abuse and just plain out unnecessary comments aimed at the person who simply asked for an opinion. They didn't ask to be bashed or embarrassed publicly for asking a simple question that required a simple answer that needed to be politely put. They bashed not only the person asking, but paranormal apps in general, because according to these paranormal experts, these applications are not specifically calibrated to detect paranormal energies, so therefore they are not able to work. There were several that said most of the apps that use a phonetic generator contain a file specifically used to speak words at random, certain times, that the dictionary is pre-programmed and therefore can be modified by the programmer. So yeah, you know what guys? Let's discuss that now. So to be perfectly clear, guys, I 100% honestly wanted to screenshot the comment in the post to put it on this video. However, I'm not going to do that because the intention of this video is not to put the group nor the person commenting personally on blast. It's to bring attention to the way that they went about commenting on it. The comment wasn't aimed directly at me, unlike the person who made the comment on my video the other day. You, sir, can go screw yourself and your opinion. You know where you can stick it. I am simply wanting to make this video to show people how not to comment on things when someone knows nothing about the paranormal, as this person obviously admitted that they did. So without further ado, we're going to get into what the post was, and then we're going to go and break down the comment, how it went, and how I feel it should have went. So let's do this. Quickly, I first want to discuss the actual post that was put in the group. The person said, "Good morning, paranormal family. I'm new to the paranormal and I want to get everyone's opinions on these applications I've been seeing. Any suggestions on which ones work best? Thanks for the help, everyone." Now, I feel as though this is a legitimate question for anyone new to the paranormal to ask. I always feel that if someone's asking a question, it's obviously because they don't know and they want knowledge on the particular subject. This was one of the many rude responses that was received, and this one just really worked my nerves, not just because of the response in general, but the way they went about it. I want to make it known that I have no ties nor personal vendettas against the commenter. I chose this comment in particular based on the content of the response as a whole. Now I want to get into the actual comment that I want to discuss, and I'm going to read this straight from my notes, and this is in quotes directly what the person said. "Well, first off, you're just an idiot for asking this, and if you think that apps can be used for paranormal purposes, I am a seasoned investigator and a well-respected member of the paranormal community. Apps are not specifically calibrated or specifically designed for detecting the paranormal, as most legitimate equipment that you can find in ghost hunting stores online are. Most apps have a built-in word dictionary, especially phonetic generator style apps that can be easily programmed and manipulated with preset responses by the app's programmers. This question is pointless and is a waste of everyone's time. Get a real job and you could actually buy real equipment that is made for spirit communication instead of being a cheap ass who has to sink to using applications that are fake and give the users nothing but constant contaminated false positives using the pre-programmed responses and fluctuations specifically designed to freak the user out or give the fake investigators into believing that they actually work. Get a fucking clue and get out of this field if you need to ask such idiotic questions because you do not belong here. It just makes all of us look bad, and there is no room in the paranormal for idiots such as yourself. So do us all a favor and leave the investigations to the experts and serious investigators." So, yeah, that was the comment. And I'm still blown away, honestly, just kind of reading it, that someone in the paranormal community would even comment on a question in this manner. So let's get into the breakdown of the actual comment. So the content and context of this message as a whole, guys, let me ask you, what about this response was okay in any way, shape, or form coming from someone who says that they are well respected by their peers in the paranormal community? Now, I want to be 100% clear. I am fine with this guy having an opinion and an outlook on these kind of devices. Everyone's welcome to it. What I'm not okay with, though, is the way that they went about stating their opinion. The person asking quite clearly stated that they were new to the paranormal, so I feel it's completely safe to assume that they were asking this question to gain knowledge from people who are more experienced in the subject matter. They didn't ask the question to be bombarded by some asshat who obviously has no respect for the paranormal team they work with, nor the paranormal field in general. So the commenter called himself a seasoned and well-respected paranormal investigator. I call you completely and utterly unprofessional. How does the response that you have given this person not only reflect on your own appearance, but the appearance of the team that you investigate with? Anyone who saw this response that you gave, and there was a lot of angry emoji reactions, guys, they were flowing in like crazy, probably looked you up on Facebook, as I did myself, and saw that you were linked to a team which I will not mention, and now you have not only reflected negatively upon yourself, but your team as well. I sincerely hope your team members have seen this assholish response that you gave this person, and one of them called you a complete idiot straight to your face. Now, I would love to personally do this myself, but I won't lower myself to that level. To be honest, I'm not positive you're as much of an idiot as you are just completely uneducated in the proper etiquette of answering a question with a modicum of respect and tact. Now, the next part of this comment that I want to tackle is the portion where they said that the apps are not specifically calibrated or specifically designed for detecting the paranormal, as most legitimate equipment that you can find on ghost hunting stores online are. Now, this may come as a complete shock to anyone watching this video, so go grab another drink or a bottle of water. I'll ensure that you've taken a sturdy seat for this one. Don't worry, I'll wait. Oh, welcome back. Got your drink already? Got a good seat? Good, because I'm ready for this one. And this may ruffle some feathers, but that's okay with me. I'm not going to say this very fast. I'm going to slow down for a second, and I'm going to make sure that you guys fully understand this. There is no such thing as equipment that is specifically designed for detecting spirits, ghosts, demons, or anything else in the paranormal world. Hell, you might be contacting Elvis. No one really fucking knows because there is no equipment designed specifically for that. To be straightforward, there is no possible way to design equipment specifically to detect a phenomenon that we still know and understand so little about, even in this age of modern technology. All the equipment that we use theoretically does have the capability of contacting unknown energies based off of the evidence that has been presented through multiple experimental sessions. There is no fine line between the two ideals. It's a Grand Canyon-sized gap. Theoretically possible means that through experimental phases it could eventually be proven, but documentation and physical, repeatable evidence is needed, as there is a lack of concrete and repeatable outcomes in a controlled environment due to unknown, unexplained, or undiscoverable variances throughout the testing process. Scientifically proven is, well, obviously proven by science to work as intended through rigorous testing using the scientific method and proper documentation to achieve repeated results in a controlled environment. So please allow me to explain further. Does an EM pump emit EMF waves into the surrounding environment? Yes, they do. That is a scientifically detectable fact using devices such as gas meters, K2 meters, or even ELF zone meters. Any number of EMF detection devices that are lying in most paranormal toolboxes can detect EMF fields. So that is a completely measurable fact which can be backed through scientific proven processes. Does an SB7 or SB11 spirit box sweep through ambient radio waves, rapidly giving the spirits an area to better possibly contact us? Yes, they do. Do they actually contact us? Are the voices that we hear coming through these devices actually spirits? We don't know. You could be talking to a radio DJ, a ghost, a demon. Hell, it could be aliens. For all we know, there is no possible way to scientifically document that the responses coming through those particular devices are 100% spirits. Now, I cannot say that some of the responses that we get are not very coincidental, but to make the statement that there is equipment that is specifically designed or calibrated for spiritual contact is a 100% and completely false statement. I would like to once again use the EM pump as a specific example here. Does it emit EMF waves into the surrounding environment? Yes, it does. That is what it is designed to do. Is it specifically designed for making spirits stronger and bettering our chances of a paranormal experience? No, guys, it's not a damn spiritual Gold's Gym. It's not a poltergeist Planet Fitness. However, we use this device because in theory, it can help spirits gather enough energy to communicate. However, there is no scientific evidence to back up the idea that it works at all the way we want to believe it does based off of what we know. We just try it and hope for the best. So if you visit a site and proceed to purchase a piece of equipment that states it's specifically designed or specifically calibrated for contacting or detecting spirits, I've got news for you. When sites list items such as this nature, it is simply a selling ploy designed to pique the interest of the person buying the product. That's it. Can you theoretically use it? Absolutely, you can. Can you use it scientifically? No, you can't, until it is proven to work in the nature that we want to believe that it can. There is zero, absolutely no evidence at all to back that these devices 100% work to contact ghosts or increase spiritual activity. So that's why we must remain objective and skeptical of all paranormal detection equipment that we work with, and that includes applications. Can they work? Maybe they can. Are they proven to work through the scientific method? No, they are not. just like every other piece of equipment we investigators use in an attempt to contact the spirit realm. So don't let your own equipment fool you into thinking that it's proven to contact the spiritual realm, when in all actuality, guys, and myself as a paranormal investigator, I'm not afraid to say it, it's not designed to do that. We just hope that it does. The next item on my chopping block, guys, would be the portion of the response where he brings up phonetic generator style apps or apps that have built-in word databases that are easily programmed and manipulated by the programmer. So he says that they cannot be considered for legitimate evidence of the paranormal due to the fact that they could be easily manipulated because of the fact that they have these built-in word databases, right? So my question here would be, what about these devices that everyone trusts because they've seen them on mainstream media TV shows? The Ovilus device, and there's many versions of that. The Paranormal Puck, which I do believe is an Ovilus itself. What about the EchoVox app? I've recently seen that on a paranormal TV show, and that actually kind of surprised me to see an app on a TV show. I was actually really shocked, and it was refreshing. So these particular devices have been used on shows such as The Hauser Files, Ghost Adventures, Portals to Hell, and even Paranormal Lockdown. Once seen on mainstream media TV shows, these items become very hot commodities and are highly sought after by all those that wish to use them. The thing is, we see these devices on para-reality shows, and most people automatically believe them to be legitimate tools for contact because they saw paranormal investigators on TV using the devices. So please, allow me to be a little bit more elaborate on what I'm trying to get at by bringing this portion up. And it's a huge secret that I want to share with you guys. All of these devices that I listed, they're programmed with word databases. Yeah, they don't just magically spout out words. The words have to come from somewhere. All of these devices have a microchip that have a built-in word database. So the database is set up to go off of environmental change. So if something around the environment changes, a word spits out. I would feel it's safe to assume that any changes that go off around one of these handheld devices would be exactly the same as the changes that would happen around a tablet or a phone device. So by the logic of the person who is commenting, if these applications, just as these devices, contain a programmed word database, then they can be pre-programmed and manipulated to say whatever the programmers want them to say, and therefore renders all evidence ever received by one of these devices as false and faked. So that evidence is no longer valid, nor was it ever valid to begin with, as these devices contained a programmed word database that could have been manipulated by the programmer. So just like with the applications, all of the devices list as follow in their description. These devices say a certain word with environmental changes. The environmental changes allow the spirits to choose the words being said. So they are both advertising the exact same result, but we're supposed to trust a device that we can hold in our hand over, well, a device that we can hold in our hand just in the form of an application. So I've clearly made the argument that both can be manipulated and falsified through programming. Let me give you an example from a TV show here. A lot of people complain that these apps throw out constant random words. Well, so do the devices that you see on TV. You just don't see it. This screenshot is an example from a Paranormal Puck device. The screen quickly showed this example, and I took a chance to screenshot it, and I want to show you now. So I want you guys to go back and look over all of those random words, all the words that they got on that list before they got to the one word that went with the story and the location that they were investigating. So since apps use a lot of random words before you get that one that makes sense, they are not and cannot be legitimate devices. Given the evidence that I've just presented from one of the physical devices that you can hold in your hand, these devices should also be scrapped then, correct? Because you're getting a bunch of random words before you get that one that makes sense. My thing is, we shouldn't instantly throw out anything with a phonetic generator style, whether it's an app or device. However, we should remain objective when using them. What's your opinion on the argument that I just presented, guys? Let me know in the comments. The final point I want to make with this video, guys, is pretty simple. Telling someone right away to get a job, that is just disrespectful and petty. If someone is just starting out, this person may not have the funds to purchase the equipment that we use as paranormal investigators. Let's be honest, most of the equipment that we use, such as DVR cam setups, REM pods, IR cams, trail cams, some EMF detection equipment, Even some voice recorders can be extremely expensive. And don't even get me started on the SLS camera setups and how expensive they are, considering they are so easy to make if you have the technological know-how to do so. The person could have responded with some suggestions on equipment that maybe they could afford that is basic, compared to telling them that they are cheap for using applications. The person isn't cheap, they are just starting out. They are experimenting, which is what they should do. The responder should have suggested maybe 35mm cameras or some cheap EMF detection equipment such as an ELF zone meter, which is relatively inexpensive. Some cheap voice recorders, or maybe even some dowsing rods. Those can fit most budgets. And with the right amount of practice, they yield great results. There was a much better way to respond to this question than to what this person said. I mean, hell guys, for fuck's sake, I have a great job that pays very well, and I can still barely afford most of the devices that you see on these paranormal shows. However, I don't need that equipment, because the equipment that I have, I know how to use it and I utilize it properly. Then for the commenter to have the balls to tell this person that they are asking this kind of question, that they don't belong in this paranormal field, and to leave it to the experts. If the commenter on that post is watching this video right now, I want to ask you a question. When you first started off, hell, to be honest, when any of us first started investigating, did we know everything there is to know about the paranormal and how to investigate it, all the ins and outs of the equipment? The chances are the answer is a huge hell no, we didn't, and you didn't either. I learned through practice, research, and asking questions to those who have been doing it longer than I had, as they had the knowledge that I was seeking to find for myself to become a better investigator. So to have the nerve to say to them to leave it to the experts, none of us were great at this when we first started off, and I always try to avoid the terms such as experts when it comes to the paranormal, as I find it hard for anyone to be an expert in something that is not controlled and cannot be repeated on command. Someone can have expertise on a subject without being considered an expert. The expertise means they are knowledgeable enough to help with most matters that will require these particular services. If the person asks a question and seeks the knowledge, then instead of being a dick, just give them a sincere answer and not stir the pot with adversity. You know, there's no logical reasoning in my head to have a question of the paranormal answered in the manner that this person answered it. We all need to come together and help each other in the field of study by answering questions by those who seek the knowledge, because they may not be as experienced. It should never become a circus with demeaning mannerisms and condescending incompetence by those who have the experience doing what we do, as the commenter on this post made it become just that, a circus of demeaning mannerisms. And it saddens me to know that we, as a paranormal community, all after the same agenda, can be so heartless to one another. We need to come together and just help each other. So in closing to this video, why do people look so down on paranormal applications? Why is there so much distrust in these programs? Is it because they aren't extensively featured on mainstream media television shows? Is it because they are cheap and affordable, so most people think there's no way something that cheap can work? Is it because people see them as entertainment programs and that they are manipulated to give their user the chills? Hard truth is, I simply don't have the answer to any of those questions. I can tell you that I've had experience with some apps that are too coincidental to be programmed responses. Then again, I've had some apps that just don't do anything at all. I test them for that exact reason, guys. I test them because I want to know what works, and I test them because I want to know what doesn't. If a spirit can manipulate other devices and cause them to fluctuate, hence giving responses, then why is it not theoretically plausible that a spirit can do the same to a phone or a tablet and elicit a response just as it would with any other piece of equipment that we use? We just don't know enough about the paranormal field yet to completely discredit the paranormal application. But yet again, we don't know enough about the field to give them full credit either. It is a trial and error, confirm and discredit, test, and test again, to try and get repeated responses that correlate with the location and the history. It seems, in my opinion, that most people in the paranormal field just refuse to open their minds and give these apps a legitimate try. Hence, that's why I come here to test them on my YouTube channel. I'm not a trendsetter, but I'm not a blind sheep. I don't like to travel the beaten path. I like to discover things for myself. Every piece of equipment that paranormal investigators worldwide use to contact the paranormal at one time or another was considered to be completely experimental. So I go off the notion that paranormal applications are just that, experimental tools that we should try and utilize, and that they are at least worth a proper testing process, just as all other equipment that has been tested in the past. So what's the worst that can happen? Someone laughs at you because you're using an app? So what? Let them laugh. That's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I just needed a vent session and not an app test. Although don't worry, more app tests are coming. They are in the process. Trust me, they're coming. I just felt as though I was compelled to tell this story and give my opinion on the actions that were taken in the process of answering a simple question that required a simple answer. As always, guys, if you liked the video, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share the video if you found it informative. Guys, Nate signing out. I'll see y'all next video.